Watch glitches, happy Easter. Let's have a look at the RLUSD XRP AMM pool. Recently, our whale here who entered the pool and took a large portion of the pool and voted the fee up to the maximum of 1%, then reduced it to a very low amount. I think it was like 0.1 or something like that, then raised it back up. Voted for 1% again, changing the pool fees to 0.68, 0.67%. And then just the other day, they dropped their vote down again. Let's look at exactly how much it was dropped down to. 0.5%, so down from 1%. And commensurately, the overall pool fees are now 0.39%. So this, in conjunction with extremely low volume over the Easter weekend, has unsurprisingly resulted in tiny pool fees. We're at 74 XRP in the last 24 hours. To put that into context, before Easter, when the pool fees were 0.67, 0.68%, we were getting well over 1,000 XRP, like in some instances as high as 1,500 XRP in accrued pool fees in a 24-hour period. So I don't know, this is just providing a lot more evidence that if you are a liquidity provider in the pool and your intent is to earn fees, you really should be, if you're one of these top 8, you really should be voting for the maximum pool fee. I think what's been interesting in the conversations that we had recently on this thread here, which I shall add this video to this thread, is that I think what's interesting is that not all liquidity providers are actually in the pool to provide to maximize or earn fees. I suspect quite strongly that there are liquidity providers in these pools who simply want access to cheap liquidity, and that is why they are reducing their vote for the pool fees. I mean, let's have a look at these again. You know, look, most of these they're very similar voting sizes. Is it the same entity that has split their XRP into multiple wallets and voted them all for the target pool fee that they want? You know, it's a little bit odd. This is all speculation. You know, why didn't they just vote a zero fee? Why did they vote for a pool fee at all? If these entities are in the pool to accrue fees, they're very misinformed, I think, if they think that voting for a lower pool fee is going to attract volume to this pool, and it's by that mechanism that which they maximize the fees that they accrue. The argument is that a low pool fee will attract more transaction volume. That just isn't true, I'm afraid to say. Like, with the amount of liquidity that we've had and the practical observations and balance sheet calculations that we do, okay, it's Easter weekend, so it's a horrible time to be looking at this because volume is down anyway. And the sample size is low. These pools have only been around for a few months. But honestly, if you're under the impression that a lower pool fee is going to attract greater transaction volume to your pool, and that's how you're going to accrue fees, evidence is not bearing that out. So again, if you are providing liquidity to this pool and you're in that top 8 slot there, you should be, and your intent is to accrue fees, not access cheap liquidity, you should be voting for the maximum 1%. So I find it a bit odd that that isn't happening, and I find it odd that they're just not voting for 0.1% fee, like the minimum amount. Why are they voting for this weird 0.185, 0.195%? That is not going to attract greater transaction volume for you. And if you're sourcing liquidity from this pool, you're just paying more for it. So why don't you drop it down to 0.1? I don't really get it. All a bit odd, but it's fun and games on the RLUSD XRP pool. I will continue to post updates. Let's see what happens probably after Easter. I wonder if Monday is going to be an interesting day. Probably the rest of the week we'll see transaction volumes rise again, and the share of those volumes in the AMM pool, this at the bottom here, hopefully increases, because that's the one that we're looking at, the AMM volume, because that's the one that generates fees. So brief update again. Have a wonderful Easter. Later glitches.